What's the story, Morning Glory? What is the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for yet another episode of Love During Lockup, Season 4, Episode 44, Once Upon a Criminal. So let's start off with Leticia and Keith. So fortunately, Keith called back because last week she had called him to confirm whether or not he had a sexual relationship with her employee. I think her name was Deanna, back when they were in high school. So everybody at her job was telling her that Deanna and Keith were getting it on back in high school. And for whatever reason, Leticia wanted to get jealous about this. I don't know why she was making this a big issue because it was so long ago. Who cares what happened in high school? So she calls her husband Keith, because they are legally married. She calls her husband Keith to verify whether or not they actually had a sexual relationship. So he said, before he answered, the phone hung up, right? And so she was like, oh, I know he didn't hang up on me. Thankfully, the call was just dropped, hopefully. So he ends up calling her back, thank God. He ends up calling her back, and he confirms that him and Deanna did not have a sexual relationship. Baby, if she believes this, I have a bridge to sell her in Brooklyn. If she really does believe that they did not have a sexual relationship, because she talks about how, he was so popular, all the girls wanted him, and he just doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would date a girl and not have anything to do with her and not like be physical with her. It just doesn't seem like that kind of guy. No guy at 18 years old or 16, 17, however old they were back then, is gonna date a girl, especially somebody who's so popular like that, is going to want to be with a girl and just talk and hold hands. I mean, I just don't see that happening. But Leticia, she believed it. So moving on from there, she introduces her staff. She's having another meeting with her. No, this was like a little tiny clip that they inserted in the episode where we see each one of her staff walk into the office, sit down, and introduce themselves to Keith one by one. And he's on speakerphone. She knew better than to put him on video, because for whatever reason, all the girls in her office were looking really cute that day. I mean, cleavage popping out, hair done, makeup did. And I don't know if they thought it was going to be a video call and they wanted to look good for their new male boss, or what the hell was going on, if this is how they dress every day. But all the girls were looking really cute, but it wasn't a video call. It was just speakerphone. And so each of them introduces themselves to Keith, and I'm thinking to myself, I'll be damned if I'm going to introduce myself to my inmate boss, and I'm working for a licensed tax professional, and I'm up here introducing myself and explaining my position and who I am and what I do to somebody behind bars. I'll be damned. Anyways, so Leticia is really serious about having Keith become her owner of her business. She's so serious about it that she is willing to consult with her attorney on how to make that happen. And this entire scene with her talking to her attorney, I'm sitting there like with my mouth agape, because this cannot be real. This woman is not seriously considering going through the legal process of making her inmate husband, her convicted inmate husband, a partner in her tax business. So she goes inside and she goes into her attorney's office, and she was talking to her attorney with a straight face, serious as I don't know what, about, I'm considering, making my husband co-owner of my business. And so I just wanted to know, what legal documents do we have to do to make that happen? And so the attorney said, what do you do? And she's like, I'm a licensed tax professional. And her attorney was like, well, I would assume as a licensed tax professional, you cannot have anyone in your business that is a convicted felon, especially someone who was convicted of conspiracy. And because conspiracies got something to do with the, financial dealings. Now, you conspired with other people to cheat somebody out of their money, and now you want to make this person a part of your tax business where you're dealing with people's money. So the attorney tells her this goes against the oath that she took to protect her clients from people such as Keith. People who are trying to cheat people out of their money or try to do something unethical with money, with other people's money. Yeah, you took an oath to protect your clients from specifically these types of people. And now you want to bring him into your business where he's going to be working directly with your clients' money. So her attorney tells her that you're not only opening yourself up to possibly losing your license, possibly civil liability, but girl, you're opening yourself up to criminal liability. You're going to be finding yourself in prison along with Keith. Are you crazy? So if he does anything wrong, as he's working as her agent, she's going to be responsible. It's her license that is on the line. And Keith don't give a damn because he's been in prison before. He knows how to do his time. He probably really wouldn't care. But she's the one that has the most to lose, that she can't keep his eye on him every second of the day. So once he's out of prison or whatever capacity he's going to be working for her, she can't keep her eye on him all the time. So yeah, you should not be trusting someone who's been convicted of whatever charges he was convicted of, including conspiracy, and having him deal with your client's money. And I think she would have to disclose that to her clients, that someone who was dealing with their money is a convicted felon. So that's also going to dry up her business, because who wants to work with a tax professional whose business is co-owned by a felon who went to jail for conspiracy? So, Leticia keeps insisting, oh, he was just selling drugs. I don't understand. It's really not fair because, he's trying to get his life back on track. And the attorney told her, this has got nothing to do with fairness. This has got nothing to do with fairness. It's got everything to do with ethics, the law, your license, protecting your interest in your business. And so the attorney hones in on and tries to get her to understand it's not about the drugs. It's about the fact that he went to jail for conspiracy, something to do with money, something that was unethical. That's whatever it was unethical. And you, as a tax professional, I'm pretty sure you took a couple of ethics classes to get your license. You understand that fiduciary duty that you have to your clients, and how you cannot be dealing in things that are unethical. We're not even talking about the criminal aspect of it. We're talking about plain, simple, basic ethics. So she doesn't want to understand this, or she doesn't want to hear this. And so, then she talks about how she needs to protect her interest. They're already married, so, a prenup is out of the question. So the attorney suggests, well, you can always do a postnuptial agreement, where you're protecting your business, your assets, etc. And so she says that that's exactly what she wants to do. She wants to protect herself, but she also wants to protect Keith as well and his interest. And then, the attorney asked her, do you have children? And she says yes. And he goes like, well, okay, you also need to protect your children's assets as well, protect your children's interest. And she's like, yeah, I know. And I also want to protect Keith's children as well. This woman is far gone. And it makes you wonder how someone can be smart enough to be a licensed tax professional, because that's not easy. I'm assuming that's not an easy job, dealing with, I don't know if she's dealing with whatever she's dealing with people's money, doing their taxes, doing their accounting. That's not easy, because not everybody's really good with numbers like that. Not only is she a licensed tax professional, but she owns her own business. She's responsible for an entire staff of people. So you would think that she's got some type of common sense and some type of smarts about her. But this whole idea of including her husband in her business is so wacky. It is so bananas that I'm thinking to myself, this can't not be real. She has to have some type of a storyline. So maybe this is what they concocted her and WeTV, to pretend like she wants to add her husband to her business, because I refuse to believe that a woman in this professional capacity is willing to make such a stupid decision to bring her inmate husband into her tax business. And then she's so worried about protecting his interest and protecting his children. The attorney had to remind her, you got kids too that you got to protect. It was just, this entire scene with Leticia was just disappointing. Okay, she was extremely disappointing. I'm so disappointed in Leticia. Moving on to our newest couple. New couple alert, Savannah and Jake. Savannah is 26, Jake is 30. He's in prison for first-degree robbery, theft, and possession. She works as a director of operations for a theater company, and she's also, I guess, an aspiring actor, because when we meet Savannah, she is on some open outside stage auditioning for some theater production. She says she loves the attention. That's why she's always going out for auditions and why she wants to be an actor, I guess, because she just loves all the attention. And she says that she's the type of woman that men meet before they meet the love of their lives. So they date her for a while, and then when that relationship ends, they go on meeting their future wives. So she's never met anyone that was on her level until she met Jake. Now, Jake, he is 35 years old. No, I'm sorry. Jake is 30 years old. He was given 35 years in prison. He's already served 12, and he has 5 more left on his mandatory sentence. So I guess he was given 17 to 35 years. And so he's got five more years left to complete the 17. And then I guess he'll be up for parole. Y'all, I don't know what's going on, but that's what it seemed like to me. So they met because Savannah was studying for a role where she played a prisoner's wife, an inmate's wife, I think. And so she reached out to a whole bunch of inmates, I guess, to help her out with her role. I don't know. And so Jake was one of the guys, or the only guy that responded, and they began communicating, and they haven't stopped since. So Jake calls her, and oh, by the way, Savannah was a cheating hoe. Okay, she was a cheater. She says that she cheated on every single boyfriend that she's ever had. So, put a pin in that, because we'll get back to that later. So Jake calls her, and they're talking about, I guess, when he comes out, whether or not they're going to get married. So she really, really, really wants to get married, but Jake not so much. So she wants to know, why doesn't he want to get married? And so he says that he's really hesitant to marry her because his mom does not like her. So Savannah doesn't understand why the mom doesn't like her. I don't know why they show us that scene where she acts like she doesn't know why his mom doesn't like her, because soon after that we find out exactly why, and she knows exactly why Jake's mother doesn't like her. So the next time that we see Savannah, she is working on a petition to convince the governor of the state to have Jake's sentence reduced. It's called a commutation. I guess the root word is commute, possibly meaning to commute his sentence to a lesser term. So she's working on the documents and the paperwork to get his prison term reduced. And I think Jake's aunt was supposed to come help her do all this paperwork, but she never showed up. She didn't answer any of her calls. And so, now Savannah's feeling down and out. Like, why doesn't his family like me? And, everybody's turned their back against me on his side of the family. So she calls Jake, or Jake calls her, and she tells him that I was working on your documentation for the commutation, and your aunt was supposed to come over, but she never showed. She was a no call, no show. And so she doesn't understand why his family doesn't accept her. So it all comes from a rumor that his mother heard about her cheating on Jake. Now, there was a time when Savannah and Jake's mother actually met, when they both went to the prison together, or they met up at the prison to see Jake, and they had seen each other, and Savannah thought everything was great. But then after that visit, his mother had told Jake that she didn't like Savannah, that she didn't think that Savannah was good enough for her son, even though he's sitting behind bars on a 35-year sentence. So she didn't think that Savannah was good enough for Jake. And coming to find out, the mother had ran into someone who said that they used to date, or that they were messing with, or used to mess with Savannah. And when the mother asked this young man, like, exactly when were you seeing Savannah, the time frame coincided with the time frame that she was already dating Jake. So the mother already had it in her mind that Savannah is cheating on her son, and she brought that information to Jake. So Savannah tells Jake, well, I hope that's not the reason why you don't want to marry me, because it's not true, and I hope you believe me that it's not true. And Jake said something like, I trust you that it's not true, as if to say, I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm going to trust you that it's not true. So obviously that's probably the whole entire reason why he won't marry Savannah. Now, if Savannah and Jake are going to stay on this program, or if we're going to see them again on Love After Lockup, one thing that I'm not interested in is watching an entire season of Savannah and Jake going back and forth on whether or not they're going to get married. That's something that I have no interest in. So I hope this is the first and the last time that we hear of this conflict of, Jake, why don't you want to get married? Savannah, you know why. I'm not interested in that. I really don't care about that. Either y'all are going to do it or y'all ain't going to do it, or you're going to leave the topic alone. But I'm not interested in y'all having these long, drawn out discussions on why y'all aren't getting married, if you're going to get married, why doesn't he want to get married. I'm not interested in that. Not in the least bit whatsoever. Moving on from there, we are going to talk about Brittany and KRock. So Brittany and KRock's family moved to a brand new house. And so she's got, before in the old house when she was living with KRock's family, she was sleeping on the floor. Now she has her own spacious room with skylighting. And I'm thinking to myself, how come these people who are in prison or just released from prison are living better than those of us who are working every day? These people have the newest phones. They are running businesses. They're buying their girlfriends brand new cars, like in last season's Love After Lockup with I forgot their names. He from prison, he bought his girlfriend a new car. He was running an entire shoe business behind bars. These people are coming out of prison just like living the life. Like, I don't understand how they're making this happen, because your girl Brittany, she just came out of prison. I didn't think that KRock's family were doing, anyways, it doesn't matter. They're in a brand new house. So she's with her best friend Shayla, and she's telling her friend that her and KRock still plan on having a baby. So in their situation, the way that they're going to do it is Brittany will technically be the surrogate, because the baby that she'll be carrying will be biologically KRock's and whatever donor they use. And that took me for a loop, because I could have sworn that it would have been biologically Brittany's baby and a donor, not KRock's eggs and a donor's sperm. So I was really shocked about that, because look, I'm not going to assume anything. I'm just going to give you my thoughts and opinions. I don't want to assume. I don't want to put anything on KRock that's not who they really are, who he really is. But I thought that maybe KRock would have been sort of like something similar to a touch me not lesbian, a lesbian who doesn't want her female any attention given to her female body parts. And so if they're going to be retrieving eggs out of KRock, the doctors would be up close and personal with her female body parts. And I just thought that it would have been biologically Brittany's baby, but that's not how they're going to do it. It's going to be KRock's biological baby, because they're going to use her eggs and a donor's sperm. So that's how they want to do it. If they do it that way, I really hope that Brittany gets something in writing, some type of legal document to ensure her rights to the child that she's going to carry. Because my understanding is a surrogate has no legal rights to the child that they carry. So if anything should happen between her and KRock, she can have some type of, visitation or some type of a legal relationship with the child. But I'm jumping a million years ahead. We're not even there yet. KRock is still in jail. So they talk about the whole baby thing, and, KRock is about to be released in like 50 days, I think she said. And once he is released, Brittany plans on her family meeting KRock, and she's super nervous about this because her family is very conservative, and she's more worried about her mom meeting KRock than her dad. So, because her mom is uber conservative, so she's like, my parents are they're not really gonna understand our relationship. They're gonna be wondering, am I lesbian? Am I not? Because of the fact that she's with someone who is biologically female, but they're transgendered, and they identify as a male. So the parents are going to be all kinds of confused. They're not going to know what the hell's going on. As far as I'm concerned, in my personal opinion on that, I think that she is still considered a heterosexual woman, because she's attracted to a transgendered man, and she's attracted to his masculinity. So I would think that would still make her straight. She's still heterosexual, because this is a transgendered man. This is a person who identifies as male and lives as a man. So I don't see how that would make her a lesbian, but I don't know. So she's really nervous about that. Her friend Shayla suggests, well, why don't you call your mom while I'm here for support, and kind of ease your mom into this whole thing about meeting KRock and what your relationship is all about. And Brittany goes, no, I'm not going to do that. Me and my mom, we don't talk like that. Okay, but you will be talking like that when you introduce your mom to KRock. I thought this was a great opportunity for her to get on the phone with her mom and kind of break the ice about the topic, make her mom a little bit more I don't know, comfortable with the idea of meeting, instead of just, they meet KRock for the first time, and then you're going to have to break it to them that this is actually a biological, this person was assigned was assigned female at birth, but they're actually a transgendered man. And then, it's just too much all at once, meeting KRock, and then, the history of KRock. Why don't you just have a conversation with your parents now and just kind of break the ice about it, instead of just, dropping all these bombs on them all at once? I don't know, but it's her life. So she says no, she doesn't want to do that. She's just gonna, just reveal everything to them at once. So she remembered at that time that she was supposed to have a video visit with KRock, and she was late. So she hurries up, gets on her laptop. KRock's not there. Then KRock calls her, and KRock is like, what the hell? I was waiting for you for 20 minutes. And she goes, oh, I'm so sorry. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. And KRock says, how can it not be your fault? And I'm like, with KRock, how can it not be your fault? You're just up there jaw-jacking with your friend, not doing anything really super important, when you could have been on your video call with your man. Like, what are you talking about? It's not your fault. You forgot. It's your fault. So KRock is so upset. He was like, you know what? I'm not going to video call you anymore. Click, hangs up, goes away. And so Brittany feels really bad about what she did. She feels really guilty for forgetting about the call, because she says, when people are in prison, that physical contact, or that face-to-face contact, is so important to them. And so, she completely dropped the ball on this one. But KRock, I'm beginning to see a little temper in you. Okay, it's okay it's okay, she forgot. Give her a little bit of grace. If she's like a repeat offender, I can understand, but if this is the first time that she's missed a video call, give her some grace. Okay. I understand that people in prison feel so out of control, like they cannot control anything outside of their prison walls. And so when things don't go right, it kind of unravels them because they have no way to control anything. But, show her a little bit of grace. She's human. She forgot. People do forget things. And give her another chance. And I'm pretty sure KRock will. I'm pretty sure all is going to be forgiven. This is not the end of their video calls. So next we have Ranika and Asante. Not much going on here. So Ranika is having a going away party because she's going to be moving out of state to go wait for Asante to be released from prison, and then they're going to start their life together. So it starts off with her getting ready for her party. So she's at home, she's having a conversation with her mom. We meet her mom for the very first time, and obviously the mom does not like the idea of Ranika moving out of state to be with Asante. So Ranika convinces her mom. She's like, everything's going to be okay, because when he gets out of prison, he's going to be treating me like a queen. And I'm like, okay, but queens don't send $2,000 a month to their peasants. Like, how is he going to treat you like a queen? Because he has to find a job, he has to do this, he has a lot to do when he comes out to get to that point where he can treat you like a queen. Because honey, for a very long time, you're going to be the little worker bee trying to support him, you, and your two kids. So Ranika, she has her big going away party. Her sisters are there, her families are, her mom's there, friends are there. It was a really good turnout. And one of her sisters, what was her name? Shakola? One of her sisters, Shakola, gets on her case about moving away to be with some man. And so Shakola keeps on saying, you're just chasing after this man. You're chasing him all over the place. You're taking my nieces away and all this and that. Shakola, she's doing all of this because she says she really curs. She curs about Ranika. I cur about her. So this is why she's upset, because she loves her sister, doesn't want her sister and her nieces to go far away. She wants them to stay there. So yeah, Shakola was really upset. So Ranika was like, all of y'all dated prisoners, all of y'all dated inmates. And I'm thinking to myself, how does that make it better that you're doing it though? I mean, all of them dated inmates, and look where they're at now. I'm pretty sure, they're not living happily ever after with their inmate partners. So the fact that you're saying, well, y'all did it, why can't I do it? It's kind of like saying, y'all sold drugs and got arrested, so why can't I go sell drugs and get arrested? It didn't make any sense with her constantly saying, well, y'all did it, and telling her daddy, you a convict too. How does that make it right for you to do it? I just don't understand. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with people wanting to date an inmate. Okay. The heart wants what the heart wants. My issue is that people who have children and the people who are clearly being bamboozled by their inmate partner. That's what I have a problem with. We have seen stories of almost happily ever afters with the people that date inmates. For example, Brittany, the redheaded girl, and Marcelo, was that his name? Marcel, I think his name was Marcelo. I could be wrong. Brittany and Marcelo, they stayed together for a very long time after she came out of prison. They kind of had a happily ever after until things fell apart. But they kind of did have it, which I really think things really didn't fall apart. I think it was just for the show. I think Brittany and it wasn't Marcelo. That doesn't sound right. I'm pretty sure that Brittany and him, they're fine. They had kids together. They had a life together. They got a home together. So I know that it can definitely happen. Marcel, I can't think of his name. So I know that it can happen, but then when you have kids or when the inmate is obviously, conning you, that's when I have a problem with it. She's got children, so she's going to take her children away from their extended family to chase someone who she's never even met in person. I don't think they've even met in person yet. So her sister's really upset about that. For some reason, things get out of hand at this party. She starts throwing water on everybody, and she gets security to escort everybody out. It was stupid. I didn't understand what was going on. She kicks everybody out, but then everybody just came right back in. And then she got on stage, because she's a rapper. She got on stage and she performed her little ghetto ratchet song, and I approved. I liked her performance. I liked her ratchet performance on stage. I thought she did a great job. But yeah, she says she's still going to move and can't nobody stop her. She is going to take her children to go be with her man, and that's that. Because you know what, y'all? Everybody else is dated inmates too. Why can't she? Moving on to Jade and Chris. So Jade, once again, is on the phone talking to Chris because she has no time for herself. He has to be on the phone with her 24/7. He's extremely possessive. So she's on the phone with him, talking to him about his possessiveness, saying, look, I cannot be talking to you every 5 minutes. I have to live my life. I've got things to do. And he's like, well, you just don't understand. I love you, and I want to talk to you all the time. And, whatever he said made me realize that it's not going to change. Jade, he's not going to come to that point where he can compromise with you and be like, okay, I'm not going to call every 5 minutes. What if I call 3 times a day? You will never get to that point. It's just going to get worse because of the fact that he's behind bars. He cannot control what's happening on the outside. And so he feels like this is the closest thing or the best thing that he can do to have some type of control of his relationship is by, constantly calling her. They've got nothing to do, so it's easy for them. She's the one that still has to live her life on the outside. So she's trying to convince him, I can't keep doing this. He ain't trying to hear that. He still wants to do the constant communication. So, and also he's got too many deep-rooted issues to have any confidence that she's not cheating on him or that she's not, I don't know what he thinks she's doing when they're not on the phone together. His issues are too complex for him to have enough confidence and security in their relationship to where he doesn't have to constantly keep tabs on her. Then they talk about her sister because her sister, now her sister and Chris do not get along. The sister feels like Chris is coming in between her relationship with her family. So her and her sister are going to be visiting Chris together. And Jade tells Chris, well, when you meet my sister, I hope that you and her will have a conversation about, the fact that y'all really don't see eye to eye on stuff. And they're not going to see eye to eye on anything. There's no way that Chris and her sister are going to have a conversation where they both walk away thinking to themselves, that was a really good talk that I had with her sister. And her sister saying, you know what, Jade, that was a really good talk that I had with Chris. I had him all wrong. Girl, he is the right guy for you. Yeah, I like him a lot. I think he's a great addition to our family. That is not going to happen. Jade, that's not going to happen. So please stop with your wishful thinking. If they don't cuss each other out, I'll be surprised because he's not going to change his mind and the sister's not going to change her mind. So yeah. So then they have, a little bit of, adult time together where she has to kick the camera crew out because she's about to get butt naked in front of the camera for him. Moving on to Andy and Brittany. So Andy is the former cop who is dating Brittany, who's in prison. So he's on the phone. I think it's the next day. I'm not sure. He's on the phone with Brittany and they're having an argument because Brittany's upset of how he presented himself as a father to his children. Now, he had told her that he was father of the year. Well, she got a chance to talk to his daughters and they were like, yeah, our dad wasn't there for us. He abandoned us. So Brittany was really upset with Andy. Like, you lied to me. And, our whole relationship is based on trust and I can't move forward with you if I can't trust you. So he's like, so what's the bottom line? What do you want to do? You want to break up? No. He says, do you want me to not come see you because he's supposed to visit her? And so she's like, yeah, I don't want you to come visit me because my daughter, she's going to be coming to visit me too on that same day. And I don't want you around my daughter because my children are going through enough already with the stuff that I've put them through. And now that I hear that you're a bad dad, I don't want you anywhere near my kids. So he's upset, right? And the back door is conveniently open while he's on the phone, screaming at her. And there's like a laundry bag, like 3 laundry baskets on the steps, conveniently placed. Okay, like who just leaves laundry baskets on the step like that? So he's, arguing with her. They're screaming at each other, and he kicks the laundry baskets. And this whole scene to me was so unbelievably staged. It was so staged to me. Why? Why do we have to do this? I mean, the argument would have been just fine and damn near believable if he didn't do all that extra stuff, but yeah, the argument is stupid, by the way. She's getting on his case because he lied to her about what kind of dad he was. But I'm like, how are you able to judge someone when you're in prison for breaking the law? And because you can't control your actions, you don't want to get help for your addictions, your kids are motherless. But you're upset with him because he said that he was a great dad and his girls were saying something different. And as he was trying to explain to Brittany, like how long he would be away from his kids, she couldn't let him. She wouldn't stop talking. She wouldn't stop yelling and screaming at him to give him a chance to even explain anything. So this whole thing was stupid to me. This whole scene was really, really dumb. Him kicking those laundry baskets that were conveniently placed on the steps. This argument about, him, what kind of dad he is when she's in prison and her kids are left without a mother. Her youngest kid is 10 years old. She's upset that he lied to her about abandoning his kids, and she's abandoned her kids. I just, y'all, okay, fine, whatever. That's my review. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video. If you like this content, subscribe to my channel, and I'll definitely talk to you later. Bye.